now locked into the 18-Wheeling Podcast.
Hey, Eastbound, you got your ears on? About a few miles past that chicken coop around Yardstick 324, you got a city kitty taking pictures.
A podcast for truckers by truckers. So sit back, hammer down, and turn the volume up. And remember, it's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle.
I can only tell you guys what 2017 looks like for me as a trucker. 2017 is when we switched from from paper logs to e-logs. It was a crazy change, and I feel like this episode, this conversation that we have, and I need everybody to listen in, man. We having somebody right now with 15 plus years in the game, and he's about to we're about to have a conversation about what the hell is really going on in trucking, man. From Southern Kentucky. Can you please introduce yourself to the people listening from the outside in?
Yeah, my name's Mike. My last name is Hill.
How you
Been
feeling
driving
today?
A long time. It was still a little bit chill down here. I live in western Tennessee, about an hour and a half east of Memphis now.
Okay. Okay. So I want to just break the ice right now, literally. I need you to tell me like your experience. When did you start trucking? And when did you start seeing a change from like when you started? How did you feel? And then we'll
Well,
build up
when I
from
started, it was when they just started introducing electronic logs. It was a choice. You can either use the electronic logs or you can run the paper logs. And back then, it was there was no clearinghouse. There was, they had the regular rules of the 10, 11, and 14. 10-hour break, 11-hour drive, 14 hours of on-duty service.
hmm
But a lot of the people that I listen to, because I'm the type of person, I'm going to listen to the person that's been out there for 20, 30 years, 40 years, or however long they've been driving. But if somebody's been in there for 3 years and trying to tell me how to drive and what to do, I don't. That's why I'm ready to retire from this industry. It's becoming a joke. The younger generation has no consideration. They don't want to listen to a veteran. Oh, we know better. I was a kid at one time. I'm 56 years old, and I've had the pleasure of meeting drivers that's been out there for many years. I've actually met one driver. There was a song written about him, the Phantom 309. And that was, I was probably 3 weeks into trucking when I met this man.
hmm
And he told me, he says, whatever you do, if you find yourself in a bind, ask somebody. Ask them how long they've been driving, and they will not steer you wrong. And it's always been that's been proven to me time and time again that you can actually gain knowledge by asking, and then by shutting the mouth and listening. And every time I've ran into a situation, what would you do in this? Well, this is what I do. Okay. And I try it, and it's got me out of bad situations. It's got me out of sticky spots. You know, I'm gung ho still, even at 56. I get out here, I run these roads. Uh, I'm in a truck that's governed at 75, and I'll cover 750, 800 miles a day on electronic logs. And they say you can't do that. Well, you can. Even at a truck at 65 that I just got out of, I was still covering 650, 700 miles a day. There's ways to do it. One, avoid truck stops. The second one, avoid rest areas. Stay on that road, stay in it. Don't get up unless you absolutely have to stop to get out. It's a lot of training. It's more mental than it is physical. People call us steering wheel holders. If they only knew, you know, at one point, yeah, you as a driver, when you got behind that wheel, you got two nose mirrors, and then you got two side mirrors, and your eyes are making that clockwork motion all the way around.
Mm.
You start at your two mirrors, go to your nose, then your other two mirrors. And why people think this is what gets me. I don't know about you, but it gets me. People will cut us off, and they see all them tires. They think just because we got all them tires, we got all them brakes. We ain't stopping. We just can't stop like they think we can.
Yep.
You know, and but me, I think the clearinghouse needs to back off. I understand we got rules and regulations and laws that we got to abide by. You know, uh, I'm just going to put this out there. I'm a SAP driver because I refused to take a drug test because I found a better job a mile from home. And they didn't ask me to do it random before I handed in the keys. They asked me for random afterwards.
Mm.
And I was already had one foot out the door, nothing in the truck. I had no belongings in the truck. The keys were in their hands, and they were mad because me and my wife were doing dedicated from Pulaski, Tennessee to El Paso. We were doing 2 trips a week and being home for 3 days. And all the other teams that was running that same route couldn't cover the miles that we were covering. So I think they need to back off, and they need to redo the rules. And anybody that is listening, if they tell you you got to do a random, no matter what, do it. It's going to save you a lot of headache and hassle. We've struggled for the last year, but we finally found a job that has a W-2, has the insurance, has 401, and we're seeing home a whole lot more.
Mm.
Granted, the pay ain't what I think it should be, but the benefits of being home a little bit more and being able to take 2 or 3 days off at home is worth it.
Yep.
But
So,
our struggles do look like they're over.
so I got a I want to start where we were talking about the camaraderie in trucking when we had that conversation, which I still think about it right now. We're talking about it. I think it's important for us to cover this because the camaraderie is gone in trucking. And just give us a picture of what it used to look like when there were just CBs and uh guys were meeting inside of the truck stops having conversation that field. Just give us a picture of how that looked back then.
You used to be able to turn that CB on when you're going down the road and hear a good story and, you know, or somebody needing advice. But anymore, you don't hear that. You hear how somebody's going to whip somebody's ass or a stupid motherfucker, excuse my language, but
No, go ahead. Go
that
ahead.
that's exactly what you hear. Or you hear somebody on there saying, I got no panties on. I don't want to hear that. I want to know, hey, how's your day going? How far are you going? You know, you used to get where you heading to? You know, you somebody ain't keep up with me, or uh, hey, finally, somebody that's got some common sense and not driving like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people come on the CB before. This been 10 years ago. We had a real bad snowfall. I was heading to Illinois out of Indiana, and it was a single track, and nobody would pass. I got on my CB. I said, I don't know who's got their radio on, but I'm coming on, and I'm coming down that left lane, and I'm not stopping. And I got in that left lane, And I guess a lot of people had the radio on because I looked in my mirrors and I had people following me. We were running 70 mile an hour down snowpack.
Mm. Communication.
I,
That's
I have one of the guys. He says, "You know what? How long you been driving?" At that point, I was maybe 5 years in. I
mm-hmm.
said, "I've been driving about 6 years." He says, "I have no problem following you anywhere. You know what it takes to get the job done." And so, there ain't no rain days or snow days. Unless the state says we cannot be on the highways or interstates. That's the only time we shut down.
Yeah.
You sick, too bad, we're gone. You puking, throw that bag around your ears and let it hang and puke in the bag and drive anyway.
Yeah.
But the used to see a truck on the side of the road, get on the CB, hey, driver, you all right over there? You need anything? Yeah, I'm low on antifreeze and I forgot to get some. Not a problem, I'll be right back. Make a U-turn at the next overpass, come back to them, hey, I got an extra gallon here. You don't get that no more. Yeah, everybody sees a truck on the side of the road, got the triangles up, shoots right on by.
Yeah.
It's hard to. It's a shame to see the way it used to be and where it's at now.
So what do you think that, because I have my own thing where I feel like my conclusion where I think that where it changed. Where do you think it changed at? And let's see if it matched up, if it match up.
Uh, it it really changed up. I'm thinking probably 2016, 2015.
I was saying more like 19, but let's see where let's see where we go with this. So 2015, 16, what were you seeing?
Uh, Less communication.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Nobody, that's when these younger drivers were starting to come in, and uh, they cut you right off. They pull right off over in front of you, leave about 3 inches between your front bumper and their bumper of their trailer. And the funny part is when they do that, they want to hit them brakes. I don't understand. You just pass somebody and you're moving on. Why do you want to hit your brakes? I've never got an answer from it, but nobody turns the radio on unless the traffic stopped anymore.
Right.
I miss the stories.
Because
And
it's lonely out there. You do want to have some sort of communication other than TikTok and YouTube, and you have to be on your phone and be distracted. You do want to grab the CB and talk on there. I've been on there a couple times, and it's funny. It's entertaining. It's just, entertaining. Entertainment. It's informative. 19 to 21 channel. That was the channel when I first started. I was looking at the guy who trained me, and he said, if I can tell you anything, two things to get that's key. And I want all my people out there that's listening to really key in on what we're talking about. If you get any two things that's important is your CB, get you a Rand McNally book and or a trucker GPS or both. And that's gonna
we
take
run
you a long
both.
way.
My wife's still amazed. She says, "How do you know where all this stuff is at?" I said, "I've been out here long enough. If you run the highways enough, that GPS is pretty much useless." You know, she says, "Well, what do you mean?" And I told her, I said, "Okay, this is back when we was running uh, the load from Pulaski to El Paso every week." She get upset at me because I turned the GPS off. She says, "Why don't you use it?" I said, "Why do I need it? We jump up here, we get on 40, we take 40 straight across,
Yep.
all the way into Little Rock. We do the bypass. I think it's 435, right on to 30. Take 30 straight into Dallas. Stay straight. Everybody jumps at 635 in Dallas, takes a long loop around.
Yep.
I stay on 30 straight through downtown Dallas. straight through Arlington, straight through Fort Worth, stay on 30, hit 20. When I hit 20, I jumped 10 north, and we're there. She says, "How do you remember all that?" And I said, "Well, it's time. That's why they call us veterans. We're out here so long that we know where everything's at."
Yeah.
She, she get to take her shit during the day, and she says, "I'm hungry." I said, "Well, let me look." And I look around. Uh, well, you got a pilot coming up here at the 42 in Pecos. How do you know that? I said, "Well, tell me if I'm wrong." She gets on GPS. No, you're right. I said, "You got what, 10 miles, 10, 20 miles?" "Yeah, something like that." Well, there's a McDonald's there. How do you know that? Well, I know. It's it's because I take time to memorize it. That's that. A lot of them don't do it anymore. I used to carry a book. Actually, if I ain't mistaken, it's at my sister's still in storage. But I had a book that I kept, notebooks, every place I delivered to. And in that, I would write down the directions because there's times I've hit certain places that you'd almost freak out because it would shut down my GPS. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? Oh, hey, all right, I'm in good shape. I got my book here. Every
Mm-hmm.
time I cross the state line, I would write down my odometer just so way I know how many miles. There's a book speaking about things that a lot of them they see it in the truck stops and they just walk right past it. Don't worry about picking it up. I call it the Trucker's Bible, and it'll tell you if you look at, say, you're on Highway 64, Interstate 64. It'll tell you how many miles Interstate 64 stretches from beginning to end, and it'll tell you how many miles you got from end to end per state. And it'll tell you where your rest areas are. It'll tell you where truck stops are at, truck parking, everything. And I've got one. I need to get an updated version. I haven't done it, but there's a lot of things that people can get to make their job so much easier. And the biggest thing I can say is get you some pens, get you two or three notebooks you can keep,
Mm-hmm.
and keep track of where you're going, because you may, after a while, you may pick up the same place or deliver the same place 5 or 6 times. And if you don't write it down and you don't get it memorized, hey, oh yeah, I've been here. Oh, yeah, I know where I'm going. Knowing where you're going and knowing how to get there are two different things.
Mm.
But when you combine that memory and you can actually focus on, okay, I got this coming up. I know a better way to get there. You know, she gets mad at me. We may take off in our own personal vehicle and head to Indiana to go see family. Well, why are you taking the long way? This isn't the long way. This is actually the shortest way and the fastest way.
Because you
I'm
know.
still on.
Yeah.
No, hang on one moment.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be quiet. But sometimes the fastest way ain't the fastest.
Mm-hmm. I want to say this too. Let's reiterate. I'm glad that you said that. I just wrote this down. Again, for all the people that's listening, man, this is knowledge talking, and we have it recorded and it's frozen in time. So anytime you need to come back to this episode, please come back. Listen, I'm gonna give you another giblet that he just said. Grab that trucker's Bible. It's gonna tell you things. And if you are going on the interstate, listen closely. I'm gonna say this. If you are going on the interstate, which you are, because you are a trucker, the odd numbers on the interstate is north and south. It goes north to south, south to north. Even interstate Numbers 30, Interstate 20, Interstate 40 goes from east to west. Even numbers. You heard what this man just said. It goes right what I just said. And I'm so glad that we're having this conversation because a lot of people, they don't understand. You just said it. You can get anywhere without a GPS now because you know these things already. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know it, man. And I really appreciate you taking this time out just to talk and give your wisdom because you've earned it through trial and error, through your experience on the interstate.
And yeah, there's one thing that burns me up more than anything. That's seeing truck drivers, four wheelers, holding a phone in their hand. I got a question for all of them.
Go ahead.
You want to drive with that phone in your hand? Do you have at least $250,000 in your pocket? If you don't, put that phone down. Because, see, 2017, I was hit on a motorcycle because of cell phones. They wasn't paying attention. They was looking at Facebook. They got ticketed for it, but it destroyed my left leg. $250,000 just to get it to where it's at now. I've still got another $250,000 worth of surgeries I got to have because of his cell phone. You'll never see a cell phone in my hand while I'm behind the wheel. And I've got on my dispatcher, look, don't send me a text. Call me. You see I'm driving and this truck's in motion, you call me. Because I will not respond to your text. And it's for that simple reason. Put them cell phones down. That cell phone, I've noticed drivers with the cell phones in their hands, you know what they do?
What?
They slow down.
Yep.
And then they start swerving all over the lane. You don't know if they're drunk or what they're doing. But 9 times out of 10, they're not drunk. They're on a cell phone. They're texting somebody. They're scrolling through Facebook or TikTok or whatever it may be. You won't find me on social media. You cannot find me because I'm not on them. After being hospitalized for 6 weeks, not knowing if you're going to be able to climb back up in the truck, if your career's over, if you're going to have to draw a $1,200 a month disability check or whatever, I thought they took away something I loved. No, I can still get on a bike and I can still take off today. It scored me. I've sold everything and all the bikes I've had, and right now, until people learn how to put them cell phones down, I don't think I'm going to own another one.
Man.
But if you got $250,000 in your pocket, stay on them cell phones. If you don't, put them down. A lot of truck drivers that's losing their lives out there, if they look at their phone records, I'd almost bet they're going to find out the cause of the wreck was nothing to do with the truck. It's because they had a phone in their hand not paying attention. Even my wife has seen stuff out there through her short career. She's going on her 4th year, and I trained her. And I cannot ask for a better person. I can fall asleep behind her, not worry. She's got a flashlight she carries. Anybody walks up on her, I feel sorry for them. It's got a taser on the end, and when she lights it up, I even jump. Wait a minute. And yeah, she'll do it just to get my attention sometimes. Let me know that she can take care of herself. And that's the key thing, She don't go out there looking for trouble, and trouble don't find her. And if she has an issue and there is somebody messing with her, once I step out of that curtain, they look and they think twice about it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's learned a lot, and people can say somebody with 4 years experience are still green. No, that woman's a vet now. You know, I'd have no problem. Hey, honey, I'm just not feeling it this week, and I know she could take off and do what she needs to do.
Mm-hmm. That's because she got out that good information and knowledge. Real seasoned vet, man. that, man, this is one of those episodes I know that people gonna listen to over and over again, even send it to people because you've given you, and that's why I wanted to do this. You've given so much knowledge and within a short span of time. And I want to say this too, Mike. Look, the demise of camaraderie and trucking really started when you said it started. When everybody got on, let's say when TikTok was born, and I don't want to be, pessimistic on that social media platform because that's the platform where I'm, more prevalent at. But let's just call it a fucking spade a spade, man. Excuse my language. When this social media stuff came out, I feel like the insurance companies felt it. I feel like innocent people felt it. I feel like it made it real unsafe because everybody's watching everybody post content, and even I'm guilty of it. Post content while they're in the truck, or you either consuming content, what makes it even worse. It makes it even worse to do that behind the wheel, and I feel like that's when the demise of trucking happened because you have people that don't want to be social. We talked about that. They're not on the CB. They're not inside of these truck stops, and they're not fraternizing with each other. It's just they're sitting in the truck on the phone, whether it's stopped or going. And it just cut out a lot of stuff in trucking, man. And it's kind of it's making it kind of watered down. It's making it unsafe. I haven't driven a truck in 7 months. I don't feel safe out there. It's oversaturated. It's a lot going on in the trucking industry, and I feel like it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse.
It's getting worse.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And the worst part is, well, if you're in a truck, look down when a police officer drives by. They're either punching on that computer or they have a cell phone in their hand.
Yeah.
And, I don't get it. And I think they need to have an interrupter in a truck. Yeah, more gadgets like we need them: auto braking, adaptive cruise, lane departures. Uh, you know, Following too close. All the beeps going on in the trucks anymore. When I come in, there was very few automatics. You had to shift your own gears,
Mm-hmm.
and I miss them days. I miss them days terribly. Anymore, you can't go to a company without being an automatic. And I told her, I said, I don't feel like a truck driver no more. I like shifting my own gears. And she 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 got to learn in school how to shift gears. But when she started, I told her, I said, everything you learned in that school, throw it out the window. I said, because what you're getting ready to go through, what you're getting ready to experience, is nothing like they teach you in school.
Mm-hmm.
And her first couple of weeks, I asked her. She passed the sign. What that sign say? If she couldn't tell me, I'd tell her. And eventually, it hit her in the head. I got to pay attention to these signs. And I'm not trying to embarrass her, but she was like 3 days in. I was in the jump seat. She was captain of the ship. We were in California getting ready to head down the Grapevine. I said, watch your speed limit signs. And she got caught in a speed trap. And she got caught doing 65 and a 35.
Oh.
But that's right where the speed limit changes is within 30 feet. And she couldn't get the truck to slow down. We were roughly 78,000 pounds with reefer unit.
Mm-hmm.
And she just couldn't get it slowed down enough. And the cop come out, and I told him, I said, she was trying to get it slowed down. She's in training. That's why I'm sitting here. She's seen the signs. And he wrote it less than what she actually was doing. He said, well, I could have took her to jail, but she's in training. And I said, well, I appreciate that. But it, a lot of these drivers today don't even pay attention to their sign. They'll be in the far left lane, and all of a sudden, they cut all over 2 lanes of traffic to make an exit when they know that exit's coming.
Mm.
And I'm guilty of it still to this day. I would get talking or just zone out, and I call it road glare. You get so focused on what's in front of you, you forget what you're doing. And I've taken the time when that's happened, reflect on it. Okay, what could I have done better? Well, one thing is start moving your head back and forth.
Yep.
Move your head back and forth. Then your eyes cannot focus just in what's in front of you or on your mirrors. You move your head back and forth.
Can I please cut you off? Please listen, because this just gave me chills. You heard what Mike just said. This is straight out of the textbook. It tells you in the textbook, if you feel any fatigue, move your eyes and your head from left to right and focus on moving objects. Not focus for a long time, but focus for a small amount of time. That will get you back in the mode because you're being hypnotized. And what did you just call it, Mike? I forgot what you
I
call
call
it.
it road glare
Yep. Yep.
because you're glared on strictly what's in front of you and you forget where you're at. And I've missed exits because of it. And, boss man called, hey, why'd you go 10 miles that route? Well, I had to go up the road 5 miles to the next overpass to come back. I said, I zoned out. I was in that cruise mode and sorry. He says, well, at least you admit it. Admit
Hmm.
your fault, admit your mistakes. It just, things are just not the way they used to be. And I'm ashamed of this industry. The companies anymore, we were working for a company and it was go, 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 go. Well, you know, a person can only take so much go, go, go. And I'm the type, I've been doing this so long. 3 weeks out on the road, I start losing my mental capacity.
Mm.
I've told one of my bosses, they young kids in their 30s that never drove a truck, go, 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 go. I said, look, we told you I'm ready to go home. I've been doing this so long, can't do this 3 week stuff. I think after 2 weeks, you got to have a break. And he started in on me. I said, look, it's my fucking turn to talk. Shut your fucking mouth. And he started in. I said, fuck off. And I hung up on him. And I got out of the truck. I went and stood next to the Loves. I can't remember where it was at. And I stood there, and it was raining. Wife stayed in the truck. She come back. I got back up in the truck. I called him back. I said, look, I'm sorry I exploded. But I'm at my last wit's end. I'm ready to go home. I said, there's no reason to be out here 3 weeks. It's dangerous. I said, if you don't take a mental break from what you're doing, you're going to kill drivers. You're
Yep.
going to have drivers in an accident. You're going to kill somebody in front of that driver. And, well, you don't tell us how to run our company. I ain't trying to tell you how to run your company. I'm just telling you, make it safe for the drivers. Make it safe for the people around these drivers. If you can't do it, shut your doors.
Yep.
You know, last I haven't seen none of their trucks. I don't know what they're doing. So, but that's one company I'll never drive for again. I have no desire to do that. And actually, like I said, here within the next couple of years, I plan on. I'm not going to be in a truck no more. I'm going to enjoy my life, what's left of it. I'm going to enjoy my wife. I'm going to enjoy my kids, my grandkids, and I'm going to go back to some of these places that just because we're truck drivers and we get to go past them, That's the key word. We get to go past them.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to stop and look and take time to explore,
Mm.
you know. And that's something that me and my wife want to do. We used to do it on bike all the time, and now we're in the truck, and it's life consuming. And that's something I got a question for anybody listening that's thinking about this. I want you to answer the question to yourself. Is trucking a lifestyle or is it a career? Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not it's not a career, it's a lifestyle. And if you can't handle it, don't waste an instructor's time for any school. Don't waste your money because it is mentally and physically demanding. And it's hard on a body, it's hard on a mind, and it's hard on a heart. If you're married and you go out by yourself, 9 times out of 10, a driver winds up divorced because they're never home to meet the needs of the wife.
Mm. I'm glad. I'm so glad that you saying. Please continue, man. Please, just please. Thank you.
But I go back and I think back to the past. And my wife says, I don't live in the past. You need to stop. Well, if I would have been thinking, because my son's wanting to link to this here because he just recently started delivering Amazon locally. And I keep telling him, son, you have no wife, you have no girlfriend, you have no kids, you have no ties. If I was you at your age, back when I was your age, I would have got my CDL. I would have stayed in that truck. I wouldn't even think about going home, but maybe once or twice a year for the holidays. I would stay gone. I would spend just the basic necessities out of my bank account, pay my phone bill, buy my food, do my laundry. I wouldn't have a car. I wouldn't, because without a car, you wouldn't have a car payment. You wouldn't have to pay for insurance. I would have stayed gone. And within 10 years, you could retire if you spend the bare minimum. 10 years, you could retire. Mainly the way when I come in, I think a driver was making 30 cents a mile starting out. And now drivers are coming in and I'm seeing them getting paid for solo 65 and 75 cents a mile as company drivers. And I'm like, well, that's crazy. I don't see how a company is actually making money. But then you see, we got 800 trucks and 15,000 trailers. Well, I must be doing something wrong, you know.
Yeah.
But I, if you're young, you have no wife, no girlfriend, no kids, no ties to keep you grounded, by all means, if you can deal with it, get in it and go. Enjoy it. I've enjoyed every minute of being out here. But it's time for an older person to retire and let the younger people come in. You know, it's like passing a torch. And I don't mind even if I was out there in an RV, on a bike, in my car, or whatever. If I see a truck on the side of the road, I'm going to stop and ask them, "Hey, man, you all right?" And, "Oh, my eyeballs are yellow." We all know what that means. You know, it. You need anything? If you have antifreeze, I don't have none in my car, but I'll go up the road here and bring you back a gallon or two. You just
Mm-hmm.
tell me what you need. But I've stopped and I've gave up gallons of oil. I've gave up gallons of antifreeze. Uh, I remember an ice storm down in Alabama. Been probably 10 years ago. They had the Interstate 20 shut down going toward Talladega. Nobody was moving. I had a four-wheeler in front of me. All of a sudden, the exhaust fumes stopped out coming out their tailpipe. I jumped out. Are you okay? We just ran out of gas. I said, well, I'll help you get your car pushed off the side of the road. You guys jump up in my truck until they open this highway back up. I said, I got plenty of fuel and it's warm. I've brung people up into my truck and let them sit in there, till the interstate opened up. And I've even waited for AAA to come out, bring them fuel, gas to get their car started, so the
Mm.
way they can continue. Offer up drinks. I've been stuck in traffic jams, grab bottles of water, walk down through, and just, been sitting there for an hour and handing out waters to people in their cars, big trucks, just to help them out. If you can't help them out, stay at home. Give some respect to people because it's going to get you a long way in this world. Not just in this world, but in this industry.
Man,
You know,
that's so epic, man. I want to say this. I want to ask you this. What would you tell the truckers looking from retrospect? What would you tell them? Just some advice to give them, man. We gonna close out of here. You've given us a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of just gems to just hold on to. What would you give the drivers that's in the industry right now? What would you tell them?
I would tell them just to remember this. The old saying is, what goes around comes around. If you can't stop on the side of the road and help a fellow driver, expect to be passed up when it comes your time to be stuck on the side of that road.
Mm.
Yeah, uh, it's a journey. You know, a journey is point A to point B without knowing the direction or where you're going or where you're going to wind up at. But enjoy it. There's nothing better than to see all these states, see all these monuments, the mountains, all the weather. I really don't care for the snow, but you know, it's God's country. It's beautiful, and you're seeing it on somebody else's dime. Enjoy it. Remember these spots that you hit, go through. My wife has fell in love with Montana, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming. She is dead set on we're going to take some vacation time. We're going to go up in that area and we're going to enjoy the waterfalls, the streams, the mountains. Some of the food we pass up that we can't get our trucks in. Oh my God! Uh, have you ever been through Benton, Arkansas?
Is that northern? Is it north, south?
It's the uh, west side of Little Rock on 30. There used to be a buffet there called Brown's Country Buffet, and when the pandemic happened, the COVID, they closed, and I missed that place. I told her, I said, I can't go through here without stopping. The food was just amazing, and you don't find. I'm a country boy. I grew up on a farm. You don't find buffets with fried green tomatoes on
Man, I
them.
love fried green tomatoes. My grandmother is from Marietta, Arkansas, and she grows her own green tomatoes. And well, she's in Detroit now, but she still grows her own green tomatoes. And when we fry them, I sit there
Yeah,
with a beer and I eat fried green tomatoes, and I still do it to this day, man. I miss that. That was nostalgic right there when you said that.
there. I can't remember the place. It was a little pizza place we stopped off at, and they had a gravel lot across the street. We called them ahead of time. Hey, is there room? Get a truck in there? Can you deliver if we pull off the side of the interstate? No, you can park in the parking lot. We went over there. It was the best pizza I've ever had in my entire life. But my memory kind of sucks a little bit now. But I want to go back because the pizza was just amazing. Uh, we've stopped off at it was actually up in Murray, Kentucky. We pulled into a parking lot. It actually said no semi parking. We parked anyway, went in and had a steak. It It just seems like you can pass up something that your body requires. The Subway, the McDonald's, the Chester's, that's pretty much all of them right out there in the truck stops. You find a Popeyes every once in a while. You're starting to see Bojangles. So you got chicken, deli sandwiches, hamburgers. Not really good for you. But
Yeah.
if you can stop in at something different, I wish Golden Corral would have truck parking. Yeah, I can
They
go in
got
and eat me some Golden Corral, have good food, greenery. My wife tries to get me to eat salads all the time. I don't want. Do I look like a freaking rabbit? No, I want beef and potatoes.
for sure.
But we're we do we got an electric skillet. We got our I used to carry a grill under the bunk, microwave. Your trucks today are loaded. It's a basic rolling apartment. The only thing missing is a shower. But some of these bigger trucks got them big old super sleepers, got all of that in it.
Hmm.
They have their kitchens and stuff. I actually looked at a 2025 Kenworth the other day. That was a big condo, big super sleeper. And I told her, I said, if I can't get one of these in the next 2 years, I'm done. I'm not driving. Because like I was talking about that other company that we were driving for, they call you if you stop 15 seconds. Hey, what you got to stop for? Well, we're going to take a shower. No, you got to keep going. No, that no. There's times that you can go in, pull in, and there you got a line. The worst one we ever stopped off at, we had like 13 guests in front of us, and I'm like, we ain't never getting a shower, and you pass out before you can even get in and get in the shower. You got to wait till the following morning to do it.
Yep.
You know, but if I don't get me one, got a shower in it, in 2 years I'm done. I will retire.
Yeah.
I've done pay my dues in life. I'm ready to enjoy it, a little bit.
Hey, you deserve that though, Mike. You been out here. You put your skin in the game, and you have enough knowledge to pass on, and the next person just pass that on, like you said. And I say it all the time. I've been saying this for years, man. I realized that trucking is a lifestyle. It's not a career. A lot of
It's not.
guys, you know, a lot of guys they come in and they see that is a cash grab. They see is a lot of money in this damn trucking industry, but they also don't understand that it's a lifestyle. You have to dream this shit. You have to smell it. You have to look it. You sometimes you wake up and you hitting the road so hard, you're gonna have dirt on you. You're gonna wake up with dirt on your pants, dirt on your hands. You're not gonna be able to get a shower, like you said. Sometimes you just fucking fall asleep. Excuse my
Yep.
French, but that's just what it is. It's a part of the lifestyle, and a lot of people don't understand that, man. They do not understand it. They just sit there and they want to get the money, but they don't want to do the work.
I remember I was in eighth grade, and my teacher, because I was the type I'd stare out the window instead of staring at the school books. He said, "Mike, you ain't never gonna make a living staring out a window." Boy, was he wrong. He absolutely wrong, and I still remember that, and I wish he was alive because I'd go back and tell him, "Look, I've made excellent money. I've had a wonderful career in this. I've lived a life doing it, and I wouldn't give it up. So thank you for letting me stare out that window."
Man, man, oh man. I don't want to take up all your time, but I want to just, man, thank you. I appreciate this episode because it's giving game and it's a gem. It's a hidden gem. So I'm not putting it on. I'm not gonna put it up there, and we're not gonna do all that. It's gonna be on Spotify. It's gonna be on iHeartRadio. It's not an actual visual, but this is an audio. So this is a hidden gem. I call it an Easter egg. You guys need this, man. So if you listening, go ahead. You can share it. You can subscribe. It's 18 Willing Podcast, man. Drive safe out there, drivers. Anything else you want to say, Mike?
Drink plenty of orange juice. Keeps you from getting sick.
And that's it, man. That's the episode.
Have fun, everybody.
Yep.
Be
Peace.
safe.
Be safe.